get the Kindred, the Rakan, and the Gnar banned by OMG on the blue side. It is the Rumble and the Vi from BLG.
So this is their pivot from their last blue side game, which was the game OMG won. Despite OMG winning that game, I feel like they knew that they were pressured way too heavily. So taking away the Gnar this time around, which also means BLG pivot. They take away the Kennen instead of the Akali. So knowing from last game they could deal with the Akali, not wanting to give that one over, I would love if they did this. If you were watching last game, you know I asked for it, but
fun.
Probably will just end up being this Aphelios to come on through. It seems like, oh, I'm surprised. I was going to say after last game, maybe they would be like, hey, again, Abel just looks more comfortable on the Aphelios. Didn't really have, like, it wasn't his fault that they lost last game. It didn't really have too much to show, right? A lot of it being around those team fights and, like, what Yagao was able to do, but still going to stick to their guns with the Zeri pick.
Stick to the lightning guns, and I think you'll be just fine. We'll see if Abel can pilot that one here. But the pick for BLG, the double pickup, will look like it starts with Wukong at least. And some maybe callback to that first game where we saw a very heavy team fight composition come out from BLG and piloted very well in that fashion. We'll see if they want to try to opt that into their red side strategy for game number 4.
I think it's going to be stock and standard. They're just going to lock this in. You know, show jungle AD. Now for OMG, they're gonna have to answer. You would expect jungle support to come out here. I guess Cassante theoretically could come out again if they did just want to like go towards that route of trying to get a comfortable soul laner. But after what happened in game 1, I feel like that would be really rough, especially since BLG on red, and they would then just be able to answer it. But no, I guess it doesn't matter. I guess even though me saying I don't know if I want to see this, they are still gonna end up just opting into the Cassante pickup and saving jungle for 4-5.
I can appreciate the Lulu Zeri combo, though. I think it's still so strong. We've seen a little bit of opt away from it, but I can appreciate this one, especially with the Cassante, that comfort back for Shanji. Just going to need to find a little bit more maybe execution-based combat in the laning phase, maybe a little bit later on as well. We'd get the Nautilus lock in here for On, and that roaming support, but especially the engage tools for BLG.
And this is interesting because it means that BLG don't feel like they need to crutch on the Jax to go into the Cassante, because you're going to assume for OMG they're going to ban that one away. I guess for Bin, you would still have the Gwen, which is something he's like to go into that matchup. The Fiora is something he's brought out a few times, and now you're definitely going to get at least 2 of those open, considering that OMG feeling more threatened by the Annie from Yagao after the performance he's been having this series.
Yeah, you can't. I feel like you just can't give that one away. They tried to take it. Didn't work out for them. We get the Maokai ban away against OMG. I know it's dealing with the hovers, but obviously Aki usually going for something very aggressive in his past. I would love to see them try to opt into something like that for him. You've seen the Bel'Veth hovers. I know you were calling that one out earlier, but the Veigar last ban, and it's the Gwen that comes through for Ben.
This is exactly what I wanted to see come out for him. Going to do incredibly well in these team fights. I feel like it's going to offer more than like what the Jax would before. We're going to see the Lee Sin locked in for Aki. Again, not a champion he like really gravitates to all too much, but still has brought it out a few times. Really strong mid-jungle combination coming out for OMG. And BLG, they keep teasing it, but I don't feel like we're ever actually going to get the Yagao LeBlanc. The Yagao LeBlanc, which let's remember, OMG banned away in game 1. Yeah. We are just going to end up getting the Lissandra pick, so Yagao still just like finding value in trying to be this like heavy CC presence on BLG, being the one who realizes, hey, as long as we have a way to lock down Abel, I am confident that we can take team fights.
Yeah, the facilitator here. Elk and Bin will have a lot of team fight damage their own right, but I will highlight that OMG have gone to the sword here for game number 4. They've given Aki the Lee Sin. They've got an aggressive 2v2 between Aki and Cream, but it feels like it's a boom or bust moment. If you cannot get this 2v2 off the ground, it's going to be so difficult to find anything later on.
It really will. And Cream is someone that you want to facilitate. If you can get Cream going and not have him have a slow game like he did last time around, with Aki being there to facilitate, that could be all the difference in pushing us to a game 5.
I'm just wondering exactly how this early foray into the jungle, we'll see if especially the likes of Aki can get a little bit of that aggressive gank that we saw Shun actually being able to pilot a lot of in the last game as well. But that is where early eyes are. Yeah,
early eyes going to be mid-jungle. Holistically, though, Bin going to be able to provide so much team fights. If he can get the same advantage, I really feel like in 5v5s, he can bring so much for BLG this game.
God, he could bring so much, but Shanji's on his comfort as we get into our 4th game. It's OMG, bloody but not out. They have to prove themselves here or their spring season is all but over. It's BLG's moment to shine as we come into game number 4.
OMG fans trying to bring all the energy that they can muster up because OMG need it, right? Backs against the wall. We've said that the OMG organization now for a few splits has been very competent, right? Have consistently been able to make playoffs, but have never, I guess, haven't been able to make a deep run in many, many years. Already making it to top 4 is quite impressive, but definitely would hope for their story to not end here.
And again, it is a very interesting story in its own right in the LPL, right? It is a team that majorly has stuck together for a long-term project here for OMG. And again, they hadn't found that success with it. But finally, they're making a run. They've taken down those top teams. We had already said TES and LNG. And now they need to surpass 2 more games to get this one back under fold. We'll get into it now. We'll see both junglers starting up towards their top sides of the map. And we'll see where their first eyes look.
Yeah, and kind of looking at this game more holistically, I feel like OMG, we've hit on for early game, a lot should come down to mid-jungle. I feel like as the game goes on, they should feel really good about their scaling, considering they have this area with an Enchanter and the Lulu. You have a great front line. So for BLG, I feel like their comp really wants to punch hard in the mid-game. You have a lot of ways to aggressively start fights, so I think we're going to need to see them play more, not only around Dragon, like they've been doing incredibly well, but like be willing to push in enemy jungle, get deep vision, maybe bait a bear and try and force a fight, things like that, because you have so many great tools to turn and engage onto an enemy composition.
I'm taking a look at some of those win and loss columns for both teams. A lot of games for Shanji on this Kazante, but the opt-in to Aki, I think in this 4th game, at least potential last game, is so huge for me because it just shows a little bit of the opt-in to what Aki, I feel like, has shown a lot of strength behind when he is opted into, and that is with a jungler that can be very aggressive, can have those very aggressive paths as we see here.
Yeah, Bin trading heavily.
He snuck around there. He didn't get seen.
Aki, he's going to be able to find this.
Ooh, Bin, you taking the bait. Now he gets a pretty big snip, but the knockback not coming through. Bin, can he get out of this one? Gwen is immune, but he can't get the damage down. Can he get it? He just doesn't have it. He auto-attacks the minion in first blood for the first time, it feels like, for OMG.
So first blood goes to OMG, but while that was all happening, on the minimap, Cream actually had to blow Flash because Shun did gank there. So trade up for the side of OMG. They find a kill as BLG only find the Flash. So good start for OMG. Nice to see BLG also be able to find pressure somewhere, and it shows they're already getting off to an aggressive start.
Raptor take spotted out by Cream. Shun will be going for a lot of aggressive invade, at least with that pressure. We'll see.
Keep your eyes on the minimap.
Making his way here, though.
Because On, yep, this is exactly what BLG need to do. On's been hovering here the whole time. Keep control over Tri-Brush to try not allow the enemy bot lane to walk in, not give them as many angles to try to pinch you from. And now we're going to see what Aki's going to do.
They're a bit split here. Elk in some trouble. Actually going to get out of that one. The red buff goes over. Calibrum hits and Abel taking decent chunk there. But Shun got what he wanted. He got 2 camps away from Aki.
Yeah, deny 2 camps. And I was going to say, before coming to this replay, Bin's also still heavily pressuring up in that top side matchup. Does manage to get around the vision and then plays it patiently. Waiting for some of this damage to come out, waits for the knockup to be able to come up from Shanji, even if it doesn't connect in the end. Tries to, I think, guess where the dash is going to come from. And then so close, but Safeguard is there. I don't think he even had the range to be able to finish that one off in the end. But look, still pressuring up the top side, has the CS lead. Sure, there's a bit more of wave there for Shanji to clear out, but still going to be a bit of a lead for Bin.
Yeah, it is. And that's not what you want in this, as Bin has had so much control over his lanes when he's given just a little bit of extra oomph in the tank. And I think on this Gwen, it's going to be something that OMG really need to find a way to deal with. We will see Aki on the top side of the map, but right now I am focused on how early we get the Dragon. Blue side has been first Dragon King so far, but I think with the vision and a lot of that pressing up that BLG have done, there's not much room for that right now, at least for OMG.
I mean, it just came down to the trade, right? OMG decided to give attention to top lane, which allowed for the heavy lean towards bot to come out from BLG. So it does look like the Dragon's going to be started up now. We already know Yagao, when you're on the Lissandra, you just pretty much keep throwing out those Qs, keep the control over mid-wave to make sure you have the priority to do this. You've been doing a nice job of trying to just play keep away for now. Going to get some nice damage on the PP God, but I don't think anything should be able to come from it. But Aki, he wants to answer.
Come step to PP God. He's going to burn you down. Some Portal Combat. Let's go. A little bit of damage. We're going to set up for this Dragon. Does go over to BLG. The fight. No Gravitum connected. And Cream in trouble. Yagao gets first. At least for BLG in this one. And Aki goes down, slams home Elk. Another one goes over to Abel as well. And Yagao and On in some trouble. On should be able to spider climb his way out of that one. But Yagao will be the only member left in the mid lane of BLG. Great clap back from OMG.
And we've seen it time and time again that the team that starts up Dragon just not having that same positioning there. Enemy team always able to find a forest. Aki almost went down, sadly, and it could have been a potential 2 for 2 going. But BLG not able to get it done in the end with Shun going over. Still, Dragon in pocket in another game where we get a very early Dragon online as a replay. It's going to come out incredibly fast. They have to commit to getting the Dragon down, so you can already see Shun already very low. I'm a bit surprised by Cream jumping in. Pretty much throws his life away. Instantly hook Nautilus, then the Lissandra CC to follow up. But now, having to deal with threats on two sides, Aki able to land the Sonic Wave and finish off L. And then Shun trying his best to finish that one off, but look at Yagao. No mana, On's low, so he has to back away, and just allowed the trade to go favorably for OMG.
And you get 1 kill on Abel, you get an assist on Abel, but more importantly, you get 2 kills on Aki, and it's going to just enable this map rotation from OMG that I think is going to be so important. And that 2v2 we were talking about, maybe opting into that a little bit more. Get a replay of all the vision there that was present before all those fights were happening.
That's where BLG's been really solid. BLG actually don't have like the highest ward stats and vision stats in general in the LPL, but they're really good at like concentrating their vision and getting it in effective areas where they're actually going to utilize it, play around, and then try to get things done. That time around, again, didn't really mean anything because they wanted that Dragon. His ultimate
there. Some decent damage given on the Elk and On. It should just be this push in. I guess they just want to get this reset off as quick as possible. Shanji playing a little bit of proxy game on top side of the map.
And we can see what OMG are doing, right? And like how proactive that Aki's being, but we need to start seeing Shun doing the same. You now have Lissandra at a point where, you know, Yagao has ult online. You can look for picks in mid. You can try and free him up. You can start roaming around with Lissandra and creating havoc elsewhere, but not able to find anything just yet. I mean, the most they've really got is stealing away some jungle camps.
I'm wondering, they're just going to go back to the well here. We'll see if they can collapse on bottom side. X-Flash used, but Yagao and Shun are on their way. They'll be spotted out, though. See that Rift Herald already taking out by OMG. We'll see underneath Moonlight Vigil goes wide. TP coming in, but PP God is down. We have the escape possible for BLG, but Shanji's trying to lock him down here. Shun in some trouble. It goes down to Shanji, who gets his first kill of the game.
And they're going to Herald mid.
That goes popped here as well. They have that pressure in mid. They're looking at plates. They're looking to delay backs. And actually, OMG can come out on top here if they're going to use this Rift Herald. Looks like they might not pull the trigger.
Looks like they decide not to because they realize that they need to quickly commit someone to top lane to stop Bin's push and not just give him too much free gold. So they do send Cream up here to deal with it, but at the end of the day, you're right. Feels like OMG coming out on top once again, and Aki. Man, Aki's getting accelerated this game from the kills to the plates. Like, this Lee Sin's going to be massive. It's going to give them a huge window where we said for BLG should be all about the mid game, but I don't know about now when have such a threat to deal with. And they commit, they get this first kill, and Shun looks like he wanted to commit onto the Zeri. Doesn't have flash, but then once the TP actually follows through, there's too much distance to try to traverse to actually be able to escape.
Yeah, there's really nothing left. The rest of the team has already departed there as well. And maybe a little bit of miscommunication coming through, but I expect Aki to wrap back around, try to get to this mid lane. If they can burst that tower down with the Rift Herald, huge stuff for the 2v2, let alone for OMG. We have another Dragon coming up in about 50 seconds.
Yeah, it just means they're going to be able to lean to either side, get, you know, aggressive vision and really try and shut down either the push from Banner or try and look at their own dives towards bot side. Dragon, like you said, coming up soon. And look at that gold on Aki.
Yeah, that's
4,300 on the Lee Sin. Yeah, it's... you know, who knows? Aki just taking over this game.
He's already got the Gore Drinker.
Just waiting. Yeah, waiting in the wings around me. Like, I feel like any 2v2, 3v3, whatever it is, OMG should just be so heavily favored at this point. And looks like they do just want to try and generate that pressure in mid, but BLG might have numbers. Shun's on his way.
See the charm not actually connect there from Cream. The charge should come through here. Oh, nice.
Oh, they stop it.
They do, as the smite came through, and beautifully done for BLG to stop that push.
I still don't have a lot of confidence in them taking a fight here. I feel like that Gore Drinker being online can make a huge difference, and even leaning down towards their bot lane so PP God and Able would be able to join if any action did abruptly break out. And it feels like BLG, they're just so limited on their options at this point.
Yeah.
It kind of is just try and defend and answer the counter punches, because I don't really feel like you can lean too heavily in trying to punish the Cassante and topside, and just try and, you know, keep the game at a steady pace to where you know your Gwen is at least getting large up in that top lane.
Large and in charge one of these days for Ben. It'll be important that they continue to focus on the goal ahead, at least to not get caught in a lot of scrappy fighting that I feel like favors OMG, especially at this point with the advantage. Will be the Dragon traded 1-for-1. We have a Hex Dragon Soul on the Rift. We'll see how Arcane buffs or breaks both these two teams. As actually we do see a little bit of hover now. I was really wondering how OMG were going to try to crush this mid lane to get unlocked. They haven't been able to do so, but maybe they're still looking for this roam. On. You cheeky man. I don't know though. That depth charge comes in. Abel's in some trouble. Has the gravitum on him, and there's the lockdown.
You got
him though.
Lightning
Lightning crashed back. Moonlight Vigil comes through, and here comes Soon. As now he's found the connection on the PV. No, he flashes. Beautiful dupe there. Abel will flash out with that cleanse. He connects with the trash line from the deeps. Come BLG.
That had to be like literally the very tip of the hook connecting to make sure that they guarantee that kill. Yagao was starting to try and lean over, but then Aki and Cream showing in mid, trying to dissuade him and make their way down first.
Oh, PP God. That was too close for comfort. Very
also,
close bot lane fight.
Small things like that, it's like now, look at On. He's already reset. He's already on the map. He's not going to have this huge window where he can make something happen. We're On still going to base. We're going to see here it starts off with On delaying the reset with the Ignite. And then here, I mean, nice ult comboed into the Gravitum to keep the stun online, and then wanting to run them down because look at the minimap. Shun's making his way down. He's coming through. Moonlight Vigil connects. We might have a solo kill on top side.
Out from Shanji. It's not going to be a solo kill because OMG have shown up in full force as Ben goes down.
So Shanji finally getting some love in this series. Jungle attention being put up to him to make sure that he gets incredibly tanky. And he just frontlined the damage coming out from BLG. I think it makes sense when Elk is going to be the one providing, you know, the large amount of that. Yagao, it's mostly going to be about the utility and the CC that you provide. Ben, I guess even though he is going down, he's still keeping up in gold, keeping up in items, so he will definitely still be a threat, but I think this front line is going to be something that's going to pay dividends later for OMG.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And we do have our, at least pretty much, first mythic items completed across the board. Still waiting on Abel to return home. Might be pressured before he can. We do have Everfrost completed for both mid laners, so a lot of CC lock up there. But we are definitely looking at the pressure for BLG down towards this bot side. We don't have another Dragon coming out for another 2 minutes, 20 seconds. But I'm wondering which tower is going to be the one that bends first.
First thing we got to keep our eyes on is Herald, which is coming up in 15 seconds now. Immortal Shield, though, picked up by Abel. Looks like, once again, BLG might not even consider it and might just keep leaning and hovering around bot, trying to find a pick.
Ooh. I do see the silhouette. Oh, On thought about it for a second. He's like, They catch LPP God, not going to do it here. Do, at least right now, not have any focus really towards this Rift Herald on top side of the map. It is literally just a vision game. Well, some shadow boxing here on the bot side.
I think that, pick comes through. I think OMG thought BLG were going to go for it.
Aki playing pretty aggressive with the lead he has. Oh no, Shun gonna walk straight into Cream. Here's Wukong though, has the engage here. You gotta follow him up. The Everfrost came out. That's a lot of CC down. The Frozen Tomb comes out as well. Yagao dodges out of the kick. Ake kicks away Shundo and takes him down. 2 more kills to the jungler of OMG. Now you got the flashes coming forward of OMG, but they won't be able to find purchase. In the end, it's just 4 kills out of Lee Sin. Ain't too bad to ride home here for OMG.
I mean, backs against the wall. Tournament life on the line. Aki going back to the Lee Sin. And now 4-0-2. Really just taking over the game and destroying these fights. We're going to see what he picks up now. Incredibly close to being able to get to that Black Cleaver. But yeah, we're going to see here. Very prolonged exchange in the bot side because BLG were hoping they could find a pick, and I think they were hoping OMG would go to Herald. We're going to see how they try to turn on to Cream. CC comes out. Cream comes in, but now Shun's solo, so he can't jump back in to try to get the damage down. Your AD carries in here, and it just allows for Aki after the jump to get on. Kick comes through. Sonic Wave followed up, and then your Lissandra just trapped in the middle of the fray.
Really clean execution there from OMG and really kind of being flexible in the moment against BLG's peel that they have. And now with this, I mean, OMG have a big lead in this early parts of the game. And I think now it's about continuing to find control. They're already going for another dragon here. And blue side has paid dividends this series so far, Lyric.
Yeah, both teams really just taking advantage this time around. A bit surprising from OMG, just getting their hands on the Lee Sin, and Aki playing with a higher pace, really being the difference maker. Every other game, I think there was something you could point to, like, oh, Kennen first pick or this or that. But this time around, I really feel like it's just OMG playing incredibly well in this early game.
They took the dragon as well, and it doesn't leave an option for the trade Rift Herald.
Not only 2 turrets, like already down for the side of OMG, 5K gold lead. And they were already the comp, though. We said the longer it goes on, like you have the Zeri, you have an Enchanter alongside it. On. You might, okay. Ooh. If that connected.
Get out of that Sonic Wave, yeah.
Yeah, God, I think that would have been a kill, or I guess at very least a flash, because On would have probably just used the ult and flashed away, but that would have been a lot of key summoners down for just Aki connecting 1 skill shot.
Scaling still a factor for BLG, even though they are at this very, very big deficit. We did come into this series talking about a little bit of scrappiness for both sides. Obviously, BLG a lot of the times in the driver's seat of situations like this, but maybe a little bit of comeback in their eyes here as well. As now they're actually going to pressure up this Rift Herald. Rift Herald should already go down beforehand to OMG, though.
I feel like it's still going to be hard for BLG, even in terms of like having comeback mechanisms, because their comp functions incredibly well when ahead, just with the amount of like decisiveness and proactivity that they have in it. But when you're behind and like you're the one getting choked out of vision and all this, it's like, how are you ever going to be the team on the front foot trying to like initiate a fight and, you know, get on in there and have Yagao follow up? So I think it would take quite a bit of meandering to come out from OMG for BLG to actually have enough time to where like the threat coming out from especially the Gwen is buying you space, then Yagao and Shun are able to follow up. So now we need to keep our eyes on OMG and how they're able to convert this top outer turret, the last one left up, so they really should prioritize that. Then with Baron following shortly after, I think just keeping up your vision control on top side and maybe fishing in the enemy jungle for picks with your RE Sin is the way to go.
We do get that Runance completed for Abel as well, so a little bit of at least damage in the team fights so far. OMG definitely opting into this top side with this Rift Herald available. They could look to crash into a tier 2. Right now, Cream should be looking at this outer tower by himself, though. Doesn't want to overextend, though, because BLG are right around the corner with all their forces. But it actually is OMG positioning to try to catch BLG in maybe one of the transitions.
Look, you know, if you want to win the series right here, and I mean, like, literally just win right here,
right
OMG,
here, right now,
you engage on them 3v4, you crush them, and you destroy their morale. Oh, and then they go, oh, Aki?
They do find on. Aki's over the wall, though, by himself.
Aki knows. I mean, it might not be a 3v4 anymore, but still, Aki knows. You gotta break. You gotta break their will right now, and then they go into game 5 dejected, and then you just easy close it out. OMG moves on, and all the OMG believers, you know, benefit. OMG themselves.
They all benefit. They benefit. It's crazy. Both these teams definitely trying to find a little bit of space of their own here. BLG themselves trying to find a little bit of comeback potential in this deficit they find them. And it is still this full pressure from OMG. They will need to use the Rift Herald sometime soon. And I'm looking at pings from the mid lane to signify that.
Already grouping up. They have push in bot and top, so they know where the two solo laners of BLG are.
Or maybe
and it looks like, no, they're actually going to end up linking up with their Cassante. Doesn't have much of a wave to play with. Yagao,
the all-out comes through. Yagao, he can't even use any abilities. Finally gets the Frozen Tomb off, but he should just die. Flash out, though. Maybe he goes back in. The root comes down. Moonlight Vigil, and here comes out to do all the damage. Abel's gone, and this is a front-to-back BLG. Take all day long.
Yagao suicides to make it work, and they find the enemy AD carry. Cream, nowhere in sight, just commits to the top lane push, I guess, knowing that everything is going to ride for them in that bot side play. And it's things like this that really shouldn't come to fruition for BLG. But they're going to take this every day of the week. Even get bot lane turret off of this. Oh. Get some wards on bot side, which I think is quite nice with Dragon coming up in 30 seconds.
Like we got a little bit of a DC action, maybe a little bit of issues there, but what a fight back. Even though I will say the gold lead didn't go down that much, it is a breath of life for BLG.
I have a question. Did you cast? What was it? I think it was one of the OMG series where there was a pause right as like one of the members was engaging a fight. Like they had just jumped in. So now, so now like you're paused and both teams like, sure, whatever the rules are on talking, like who cares? Now like the enemy team gets to think of like, huh, so what are we gonna do now that this, I think it was like a Vi or Wukong have jumped on top of us? It was an incredibly awkward pause to come through.
Maybe not as awkward this time around, but right before Elk, they just really didn't want to give him the objective gold. It will be that outer tower going down. A bounty to BLG as well, and they have evened up a little bit more so, just under 3,000 gold deficit.
So Infinity Edge in pocket for Elk. That's going to be terrifying, so we need to keep our eyes on this.
Gao's so good, man.
Yeah, Yagao. I mean, you know, manages to buy so much time because he has the ult online, so the healing, it does come through. Flashes away, throws out the claw, and I can't believe he actually followed it back in. It sets up perfectly for Elk. Like, my God, dude, Yagao is just so good. But now the damage coming in from the Aphelios, the Gwen even arrives to just make sure that they're able to finish things off. And the whole time,
On's almost dead. They got TPs coming in. Oh no, the Sonic Wave missed. Yagao, he cleanses out there. He needs to be careful. Another Sonic Wave connects. Yagao gets away though. What happened to put us in this position? These are summoner spells burned. Abel starting up the dragon here as well. OMG is going for a little bit of that BLG sauce, but they should just keep pressuring mid lane while Abel is able to solo down a third dragon for OMG.
Yeah, I want to know what happened. I want to know how we got to a position where On's low and like people are forced away.
They're just going to force the Baron.
Oh, this is a bit risky, but we did say BLG have great turn potential. The problem is, again, they're still the team that's behind. So we're going to see. Keep our eyes on Yagao.
White is gone. Caliburn is there. You got the Hex Flash on. Maybe finds the backline, finds PP God. But guess what? Elk is caught out by everybody else. And Cream and Shanji have found a big pick. But he needs to be careful as Shanti's already gone. Here comes Abel for some serious damage. Aki's into the big damage team fight here as he Sonic Wave kicks out, and there's Shun going low. Aki gets taken down by On, but Abel's here to clean things up. He gets one, he gets two, and it's OMG that have come to answer BLG's fate, as that will be another pick going down as Everfrost connects. And on to the Baron goes, oh my God.
I have to be honest, Mazel, that was one of the most questionable follow-ups to a fight that I've seen. Like, OMG, kudos to you. I don't feel like they should have gotten that much. After they got the first 2 kills, I feel like you back off as BLG. Your damage dealer is dead. How are you going to keep going? That was something. Abel, the huge one to benefit off of it, though. My God, 4-2 and 4. We're going to go back to the replay because I want to see what's going through BLG's mind once again. They find the initial engage. Remember, Zeri not here. Get a nice pick onto the Lulu. Sure, they leave Abel, they leave Elk by himself, but manage to find more kills in the back line with the damage coming out from the Gwen. Here, you back off. You have no more DPS coming through, but they go on different pages. Bing goes one way, you're trying to hook 2 men on the opposite side, and their big Zeri is still alive. Like, again, this was like heat of the moment, feeling it type decision-making coming from BLG, which ended up fighting
Speaking
them.
of heat of the moment, there's some heat in the Baron pit right now. BLG burning it down, but OMG have come. And Aki, this is a 50-50 BLG. Can they get the Baron? It goes over to Elk, but they're about to lose everything for it. They get a little bit front-to-back action here, though. Elk hits a big ulti down, and it's a couple members traded 2 for 1 in favor of OMG, but the Baron buff will help BLG so much.
Yeah, BLG, they are happy with that once again. Now, can they find Shanji?
They got the rest of the team here. He's so tanky, though, and he all-outs Yagao over the wall. And Yagao, he has to go golden. Can he get away from this Shanji's pretty tanky? It goes all out, straight onto the toothpaste. And there ain't no toothpaste left in the tube here for BLG.
I mean, they're still fine, right? They still have the Baron buff to Baron up these minions to prevent a push from coming through. They have their big carry in Elk able to follow up with the damage. So at the end of the day, BLG are going to take this. Gold lead still squarely in favor of OMG. We've seen a bit of movement of it for BLG. Like it was, I believe it got up to like 5,500 before, where now it is about down to just over 3. So they're doing a nice job of clawing back. And a lot of it coming down to, again, neither of these teams have been super decisive, went ahead. We hit on earlier that both of them, when they have a gold lead 15, pretty low win rates. We're going to see here what gets this Baron. just all the Chocorzilla damage flying out from Elk to secure it. And sure, some members are going to go down, but I feel like just getting Baron on a couple members for BLG, denying that from OMG, is enough of a win.
Yeah, it does so much. Again, delaying until they are primed and ready, it feels like, for BLG is a big forethought for them. They have so much scaling in Bin and Elk. They have a lot of cash out tools, but it is about getting there with a lead that OMG has consistently had in this 4th game. Now, there's a minute and 10 seconds for a Dragon. It would be a soul for OMG and more pressure on BLG.
The good thing for the side of BLG is that they will have this Baron up till about when Dragon does come online. We can see their Baron up for another 50 seconds, Dragon come up in 55. So if you can use that to try and guarantee yourself some pryos towards that bottom half of the map, you'll be able to get your own mission back up. You'll be able to try to get into a position where you can force a fight on your own terms for this one. Luckily, too, Elk does have Flash. But on the side of OMG, all their summoner spells are also up. So not that same threat there, but BLG as a team will have much more engage. So, you know, you might be able to, like, okay, you get away with Flash and Cleanse from, like, Yagao, but then Shun follows in, or On's there, or you're getting slowed now by Bin's ultimate. So a lot of CC threat that's going to be on Abel in this next fight.
We're checking in, though, as we have 3 item spikes coming out for everybody. It feels like Shanji, Cream, and Abel on OMG. We're looking at that Lord Doms that has now been completed for Elk. And we're coming into some fisticuffs here. BLG have to put up a fight.
Yeah, I want to see if Bin can finish off his next item. Is going to end up TPing in and gets his Skunk Drive online.
He gets it.
Going to try and find engage again. Tons of CC that they can get on top of Abel with. But it's about Shanji and being able to buy space. Cream going to try and find a cheeky charm to start things off.
Can't do it. The Dragon is the focus here. Cream goes in. Everfrost over. Lightning crashes in. It is a big knockup, though, as Shanji's still alive. Shanji finally goes down. And BLG, they set the tempo of the fight. And Ben has eviscerated them. But Abel is still that big damage. Abel is popping off as another Dragon goes to BLG. Abel wants all their heads, but he is decapitated himself as BLG shut the carry down.
Trying to be the hero.
Damage. What?
So insane coming out from Abel. Again, trying to be the hero that his team needed in that circumstance, but getting a little bit too ahead of himself. And it's going to lead to BLG being able to break down so many structures that OMG has. The gold lead, the like 5K gold lead that we had just 5-10 minutes ago, it's now gone. It's now completely evaporated.
We see an incredible, decisive team fight from BLG, and boy, it was scrappy, Lyric.
Yeah, Cream angling to find and engage, just ends up getting chunked down and picked off. I thought that this would come to bite BLG, though, because it's like, hey, you're not really using your CC to take down the enemy AD carry. They still do get a ton of damage. You can see Bin especially chasing down the backline, but look at Abel here. Cleanse comes out, able to flash away, and then chasing them down with these lasers. Sadly for On, the hook doesn't connect, because if it did, that probably could have been the end of the story right there. And then Abel wants to keep going, knowing he has the damage and the shield to come online, but the healing from L, just enough to make sure it comes through.
I'm so emotional, though, in that moment, because that is a bin break moment for OMG. 13,000 damage from the staple, the genius AD carry of his generation, Abel, but he can't pull it through. And while there is maybe another dimension where he's able to take that down, find all those kills, this is not the one that we're in, and OMG have to pull themselves back from the brink.
And it's so nice to see, because Abel, I mean, you go back in the days, like his time being the sub on RNG and like kind of coming in and out, like he was someone who was impressive. He was someone who people were excited for in the future. Then like when we started getting his stints on OMG, at first it was, I'll be honest, a little bit troll. I still always remember the Aphelios, like Gale4 sticking to 3 people moment. Yep. But since then, Abel's been someone who just continuously improved. And it's been a year that I feel like has been really good for Abel. He's been someone you could reliably count on to carry and take over games for OMG. And you're seeing it here now with their tournament life on the line. 8-3-4, he's the one we need to see deliver.
And what was such a comfortable position to be in for OMG? Now they find themselves on the edge of a dire cliff, but they are not giving up just yet. Lockdown has gone on to Cream. He's got Golden. You got Elf on the back line. Aki should take him down, but in the middle of the fight, you got Game4 down, and that's Abel for you, baby! He steps up to the plate, and that's a home run for OMG! They might just be able to end the game here, Lyric.
Yeah, now we're going to be able to push down the base. They're going to bring us to 5. Neither of these teams letting up.
I hear the bee-woo-woos already going on in my ears. You better get those silver scrapes ready and packed up to go, because OMG are taking us to game number 5 against BLG for both these two teams' tournament lives.
Abel managing to bring it back, but I want to highlight Aki in that final fight, because the fact that he gets access to the enemy AD carry, he gets on top of Elk, he takes him down, and makes sure that no consistent damage is able to come up on the opposite side. I feel like